Very good afternoon to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC News Break. The hospitality of Barbadians and their charm are key factors to the island's high repeat visitor numbers. Prime Minister Frendel Stuart says he was made aware of this during his interactions with repeat visitors during a function at Elaro Court last night. He says tourists continue to visit our shores in their numbers and saluted all those who make their stay a memorable one.
I want to congratulate all Barbadians tonight for continuing to make this country the resplendent and welcoming place that it is. And I want to thank all of those persons who, as a result of that resplendence and as a result of that welcoming nature, those people who keep coming here to contribute to the development of our economy.
As the Easter weekend approaches, Prime Minister Stuart urged Barbadians to use the period as a time of reflection.
Easter and Good Friday combine to mirror all of our experiences. Just reflect that without Good Friday, there could be no Easter. In fact, Easter would be what I like to call a philosophical absurdity if there was nothing called Good Friday. But what it tells us is that there's really no gain without pain. There is no shortcut to prosperity. There's no shortcut to triumph. Sacrifices have to be made, and those sacrifices are exemplified by the supreme sacrifice of Good Friday.
Akani McDowell is set to take over as president of the National Union of Public Workers. 246 votes separated the 34-year-old health promotion officer in the Ministry of Health from his closest rival, Ronnie Graves Thorpes, who polled 346 in yesterday's election. When members voted, they did so using new election technology for the first time. Acting General Secretary Rosalind Smith was satisfied with the way voting went. The other contenders in the race for NUPW president were Margot Bannister and Danny Gill. Bannister copped 189 and Gill 109 votes. Joyanne Innes was elected first vice president. Second vice president is Fabian Jones, and third vice president is Dr. Ricardo Kelman. Rosalind Smith remains the acting general secretary, as that post was not up to be contested in yesterday's vote. An increasing number of Barbadians are playing their part in the fight against crime by turning to the anonymous mechanism Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers Barbados is reporting increases in the number of tips provided to its 1-800 tip line and online. 292 tips were recorded last year, an increase from the 278 in 2013. Executive Director Devrol Dupini tells CBC News Barbadians are calling to report illegal firearms, assault and homicides. The majority of tips, however, related to illegal drugs.
Persons selling drugs or trafficking drugs. And last year what we saw was 29.8% of the tips we received, of the 292, 29.8% were in fact related to drugs. In 2013, a similar statistic, we would have received 30.2% of the tips or information which we received would have been drug related.
Money paid out for tips ranged from $100 to $1,000. Mr. Dupini says Crime Stoppers maintains a good relationship with the Royal Barbados Police Force, which investigates tips provided.
We, as Crime Stoppers Barbados, are civilians. We are not enforcers of the law. The Royal Barbados Police Force are the ones, when that information that Crime Stoppers receives is relayed to them, it's the RBPF that acts on that information and basically enforces the law of the land. So we've seen an improvement in the quality of the information being relayed to Crime Stoppers Barbados, and we here and we'll continue to ask Barbadians to use the system.
Some relief is coming for the disabled community in the face of the rising cost of living. The Barbados Council of the Disabled, supported by the Barbados Chamber of Commerce and Industry, has introduced the Empowerment Card. It offers discounts on purchases at select businesses strictly for people living with disabilities. Speaking during a ceremony to launch the card, BCD President Senator Kerry Ann Eiffel encouraged companies that haven't signed on as yet to do so. According to her, the Empowerment Card is now critical for disabled people because of how expensive it has become living with a disability.
The reality is that as persons with disabilities, we do have limited spending because we don't have adequate jobs. And when we do have adequate jobs, I have often joked that disability is a habit I can't afford. It is extremely expensive to have a disability. Not only here in Barbados, but internationally. It is just the reality of the situation in which we live.
Disabled people can sign up for the Empowerment Card by downloading the form from the BCD's website. It is for people with disabilities 18 and over or caregivers of children who are disabled. Meanwhile, Roxanne Branker of the Barbados Chamber of Commerce is hoping the initiative shows business owners the spending power of the disabled community.
This Empowerment Card guarantees each card holder the opportunity to exercise their purchasing power. Thus, it would follow that the more jobs offered to persons in the disabled community, the more money there will be to spend. And this will lead to a stimulation in the economy.
Proposals to amend the Barbados Physical Development Plan are being evaluated, and a consulting firm will be chosen shortly. This disclosure has come from Deputy Chief Town Planner George Brown, who said a steering committee is in the process of evaluating the technical and financial proposals. Mr. Brown explained that work on the plan would start after the Memorandum of Understanding is signed between the Government of Barbados and the successful consulting firm. He noted that the background research and preparation of the amendment should be completed in 10 months to a year. However, Mr. Brown pointed out that a series of processes must be carried out by the consultants during the preparation of the plan. We'll have regional and international news after this break. Stay with us.